Hello everyone, welcome back to Realms of the Haunting, and welcome back to this guy. I mean, that's just really rude. I was trying to welcome you back to this Let's Play after the Red Gargoyle let us through to go across his bridge, and maybe we should just go across before that happens again. So last time we made our way through the caverns. We found the Red Gargoyle, we gave him the proper key after messing up once, and now we can see what's on the other side of these caverns. And it is a larger, angrier gargoyle. Let's just get around him. You can barely hear what he's saying, but that's okay because we've heard this before when we entered the caverns. I guess this was the guy who was saying it. I don't know why he's angry at us. The Red Gargoyle was happy enough to let us through. Though I guess we did kill a lot of the smaller gargoyles, and maybe they're his children. I don't know. I don't know who this is. He's loud though, isn't he? But he doesn't last that long. I think he was the first enemy that actually shot projectiles at us, so he can take you by surprise, if you're not ready.
What's this made from? Crystal?
No, it's nothing I've come across before.
Well, I guess it's not important, because we're just going to leave it behind. Alright, we're coming out of the caverns into a pretty elaborate platform puzzle. First-person platforming usually doesn't work very well, but it's not too hard in this case. We just have to time our walk forward, and it really is not very difficult. If we fell down there, we just would have to go back and do it again. The platforms are getting faster, though, until we get to here. Alright. There we go. See? No big deal. It does seem like we've left the house entirely, though. But where are we coming out of, now that we've left the caverns? The map didn't tell us.
There's power at work here. I can feel it. I'm not sure of the source, though. Let's be careful. This place smells bad. It smells like somebody died.
You're telling me.
Yep, because this...
Plenty of this rubble around.
The structure doesn't look too safe, does it?
It's trapped us in here. We can't go back, though we didn't have a reason to go back anyway. We're here to go forward, not back. That, by the way, can be a pain if we forget a certain thing in our travels here. I'll bring that up later. For right now, we've encountered a new enemy. It's like some sort of ape dog thing. It has a rat tail. I mean, it's slow. You just walk around it and make sure it doesn't hit you. It looks fearsome and takes more bullets than a bunch of the enemies we've seen already, but it's not that big of a deal. But it seemed to have been guarding this.
Sense your presence. You are close. Good. You have found my breastplate. Put it on, Adam. It will fit. Though you are something less across the shoulders than I was in my prime.
What sort of protection would you give me?
It is boiled leather and plate boil. What else were you expecting? No, I only jest. It will prove sovereign against both spear and dagger, against the ungodly who will shield the heart and ward the soul. But heed me well. The most subtle danger you must face comes from within.
Your presence doesn't feel strong here.
That is not my presence you perceive, demoiselle, but the power of the cuirass itself.
Could it be that the evil of this place has corrupted it somehow?
Never. What you are feeling is the power that the Curus has accumulated over the centuries.
Thank you. We can certainly use your help.
I must go now. Fare thee well.
Well, we found another piece of Alf's things, but no time to talk about that right now. You know, I'm not actually... What? Oh. Completely forgot there was another one. You know, I'm not actually sure if that Curus does actually give us additional protection. There's no defense stat that we can look at to tell that for sure. All we could really do is get hit a bunch of times on purpose and determine if we're taking less damage. I'm not really sure, though, because I try not to get hit. There's some potions over here. We'll pick them up. So we have become closer to Alf since we have found his breastplate.
This looks like something Alf would wear.
Perhaps there's a connection to something. I can't be any clearer than that.
I mean, he just showed up and told us that that's his breastplate. I mean, that just happened like a minute ago. But let's not think about that. Let's explore our surroundings and go through this tiny door. It's so small. We have what appears to be another mantle stone, but I guess it's not active. Nothing else here that we could look at aside from this.
Doesn't appear to be working.
Once again, we have found this symbol, whatever it is, and once again, it is not working. I guess we just have to remember what that thing looks like, and come back when we find something that maybe could work with it. Let's go up these stairs. Alright, we have entered what appears to be a very well-maintained domicile.
Plenty of this rubble around.
The structure doesn't look too safe, does it?
It's preventing us. Yeah, we just can't get... Oh, it's so thick, so much rubble right here, we just can't get through it to the door. But it seems that someone has been writing on the walls. Someone's been busy here anyway.
What the hell's all this?
I have absolutely no idea, Adam.
See if we can turn the lights on. Yeah, here's a light switch. I think that we'll probably go over these writings in the supplementary video, but someone is writing some messages. It's not the only one either. Someone's been busy in here. And we found a new enemy! He makes adorable sounds, but he is fearsome with his swords. A lot of the enemies just kind of walk around slowly, and they take increasing amounts of damage to kill. That boss gargoyle was really the only one that we've seen that has done anything different in terms of attack, and that it actually had projectiles. More writing on the wall.
This is burnt into the wall.
Burnt? You sure?
Something about God and Satan. But maybe let's take the time to look at that later. We have a new map. It says Map of Raquia Maze. We've heard of Raquia. It's one of the realms. Apparently we can get there from the tower. So it's not of this earth, but there is a map to it here. And this, I would say, is probably the most important map in the game. Because the first time I played through this game, I tried to go through this without this map, and man... We'll talk about that later when we get there. But for right now, it's very good that we're picking this up. But this does seem like an important place because it has such a map. Even though it's clearly not maintained. The water's coming through the roof. There's writing on the walls. Magnifying glasses just left out.
This is exquisite. Look at the work around the glass.
I'd say it was French if it wasn't for the peculiar design.
I don't know what we actually do with this. No, can't use it on that. I don't know if I've ever actually used that with anything.
Sketch of a sword. Like no sword I've ever seen.
What's that smudge towards the top of the pommel?
Well, we've seen this drawing style before from CF, who has drawn our maps. But apparently he's drawn a very fantastic-looking sword. And at the end of it, on the pommel, is a big smudge. Maybe that'll be important later. Doesn't seem like anyone's actually lived here for a long time.
Locked.
Little locker there, but we can't get in right now. Everything else seems emptied out.
Empty closets. Empty closets.
But under this bed is something interesting. It's a new weapon. Let's look at it.
Someone's walking stick?
Rather ornate, isn't it?
They call it Florentine's staff. I don't believe we've heard the name yet.
Look at the workmanship in this. The jewel in the headpiece. It looks like the one that my father had around his neck. Could it be magical?
It seems to be charged in some way. It has limited use, something to do with movement, I think.
Well, this is an interesting weapon. You might notice that there are dots on the bottom of the screen underneath the staff. This weapon is powerful, but it has limited ammo. And we never find any more than that. So how many dots are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That 12? 12 shots for the entire game. So if you don't know that and you use it all right now, hey, you're never actually using it again. So isn't that a shame? But doesn't this look familiar? It's that logo, that icon that we've seen on some of the walls that Adam says doesn't work. So we found something that looks just like it. Maybe we should keep that in mind the next time we see one of those things. For right now, though, I am just going to equip the gun to make sure I don't actually shoot this staff.
This is filthy. Not been slept in for some time.
Judging by the state of it, I'm not surprised.
Adam Randall would never be caught dead in a bed this filthy. He does have standards. More writing.
What could have burnt this onto the wall with such precision?
Yeah, a very long message from someone to someone else. But whoever lives here has left health potions for us, so I guess that's nice. Oh, isn't this delightful? It's a mantle stone covered with rats.
Doesn't appear to be working.
Yeah, we can't actually teleport on it. But it is covered with bloody dead rats, so that's something. We can't actually observe them. Normally you hear a crushing sound when you walk on the rats. I'm disappointed we're not hearing it now, but usually you do hear that. So anyway, whoever lived here apparently had access to a mantle stone, but somehow it's been deactivated. And there are just a lot of these big gorilla rats just around this place. They're not difficult, really, but there's a bunch of them.
Crazy.
Yep, and we can't actually do anything about that light. We're just gonna have to put up with it. Yep, can't turn that off. Well, this place seems like it must be important, considering that it was connected to the caverns, even though it doesn't seem like anyone's been here for a while. Oh hey, it's one of our new friends. I guess let's fight him with the sword, since he obviously wants that. He did get a good shot on me, though. Okay, let's take a look around. We appear to be in some kind of observatory, and there's a lovely Saturn out tonight. It's like you could almost touch it, reach out just and touch the wall, and touch Saturn.
1779. Fleur and Maison.
French.
Mademoiselle, you really amaze me sometimes.
Indeed, their knowledge is immense of French telescopes. Now, that's a pretty fancy chair, but Adam has nothing to say about it. He might have something to say about the things on this table, though.
Quill and ink. Someone likes to use the old method.
Expensive too. Golden nib.
I'm not sure if we actually use this for anything either. It doesn't seem like it, but we can pick it up. Some more documents. Someone was using this as their writing room.
Sketch of somewhere.
Some place we've not yet come across.
Yeah. Again, this familiar sketching style. Someone was careless with their coffee mug, though.
Solar system. Venus marked.
Yes, the morning star.
Should probably just look at it when they're saying that.
Solar system. Venus marked for some reason. Most like Earth of all planets.
Also known as the morning star. The planet that marks Lucifer in the sky.
Alright, so someone had a thing about Venus. And we've heard the term morning star before. There are people in this house who do seem to have a thing for Lucifer. We saw his name on the wall just not too long ago, either. Let's pick this up. So this is kind of the important thing about this chapter. The chapter's called Journal of Evil, and this is it.
Wow. This looks like serious stuff. Journal. Leather-bound and embossed.
What's the design on the cover? Embossed with the initial F.
There's something sticking out of the pages. Nicely worked silver key.
So I picked this up and I found a silver key. What else I found in it is a journal, which is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages. It ends in 1521 AD. When did it start? I believe it was 1330. So a very old journal. It's held up very well. And the author is someone named Claude Florentine. Florentine? Probably pronounced one of those ways. We've seen the name Claude before. The letters at the beginning of the game were written to Claude. And we have seen on those sketches we've been picking up and those maps, they were drawn by CF. So it would seem that this is our man, Claude Florentine, who apparently lived in 1330 AD and also lived 2 centuries later, because he's writing this stuff down. And also, if we remember the letters, let's look at one of those letters. Let's see.
No address or postage. Sent it too. Very nice.
Yeah, this was dated 1929. So, this Claude fellow seems like he's getting around. And apparently this is his observatory. Well, in the supplementary video, we're definitely going to read over that journal, because there is a lot of information to go over in that. It's actually going to shed a lot of light into the story of the game and what's going on. But there is a lot of reading and a lot of talking to be had on that. For right now, let's head back, because this seems to be the main thing that we were coming here for. However, there is one thing you want to keep in mind. I mentioned some time ago that when you're playing through this game, you want to make sure that you remember the location of any locked doors or anything that you couldn't get into, because you may have to go back there, and the game will not really point that out to you. It won't oh, hold on. I missed this room. I guess I didn't really need to come in here. But we want to be thorough, and hey, there's a health potion, so we can get that. Alright. Before we leave, though, it would be a problem if I left without remembering that there's this locked locker right here. Because we picked up this key. Let's take a look at that key. Where was that? There it is.
Nicely worked silver key.
Yep, we picked up the silver key. So let's remember that we passed by this locker, because I can use the key on this. And hey, look what's inside. We needed one more of these. And now we have it. If I didn't pick that up, and I went back to the house, I would have no idea what to do next. And that's happened. And yes, I felt foolish when I realized that I forgot that I walked by it without opening it up. Because if we just walk down here, and if we remember this small little door, hey, that looks like our staff. We can click on it now, and when we do that, it actually brings up the staff in our item slot, so we can use it as both a weapon and an item. Let's use it on this thing. It activated. Adam doesn't have anything to say about it, but we know how to use these things.
Teleported us to the study.
Still has some power remaining. Faint, though.
Well, it takes us exactly where we want to be. And it appears that this was the other side of it. So we teleported to this symbol right here, which is now active because we have the staff. But the reason we want to be here is because, well, we now have the 2 remaining statues. Let's put them down and see what happens.
The statuettes are glowing. Something's happening to the sarcophagus. It's opening.
Is that a ladder down there?
Well, not really what we might expect. There's apparently a passage beneath the sarcophagus. Before we go down there, let's just remember it's apparently 6 o'clock. Maybe we'll need to know that. A very large passage. You might think that there wasn't a whole lot of room in that sarcophagus, but you'd be wrong. Well, Rebecca did say that she detected magic in the sarcophagus, something to do with distance and movement, so apparently it's teleported us to somewhere. Wherever it is, we're not in the house anymore.
What's that smell?
Sulfur. Something's been burning.
Well, if we want to get an idea of what's burning, we can see that there's a mural of dragons and knights on the wall.
Dragons, knights, and shields. Seems to be the current theme here.
That and fire. Look, all the dragons are breathing fire.
Yeah, they're firing fire at those knights. And something that might get our attention is this one dragon face up here.
Look at this thing's mouth. It's all black.
Dragons seem to be the current theme around here.
Beneath it is what seems to be a door. But it's not opening. However, there is a big clock. What does that say? 2:30? Well, that's not the time now, is it? The grandfather clock in the study wanted it to be 6 o'clock. We have a couple levers up here. And a button over here.
Oh, God.
And apparently that's the wrong time because it spawned a minotaur. So, we could try to set the time, and every time we do, a monster is going to spawn. However, if we took the time to figure out the grandfather clock puzzle in the study, we know what the time is. Even though there didn't seem to be a reason to do that previously. Since we did it, we now know what the time should be.
Bingo.
The hands are set. The door to thee is open wide. Who holds the key? Shield your heart from purging fire. Regard the knight whose mien is higher.
Someone's saying something to us. if we walked forward, we would get a nasty surprise. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to equip this right now. Remember the shield? We picked it up near the beginning of the game. It's one of our weapons, but we've never actually used it for anything. Well, if we look at the mural on the walls, it seems that a shield does come in handy against dragonfire. So let's hold the shield up right now. Yep, that dragon is spitting fire at us, but we don't need to worry about it because we're holding this shield. We would not survive if we were not holding this. I suppose we could use it for Actually, I've never actually used it for defense during normal combat. This is the only time in the game I've ever used it. Maybe I should give it a try and see how effective it is when just trying to defend myself when fighting enemies.
Stronger in here.
Yep, that's sulfur, all right. Someone's definitely been burning something around here.
Well, we can see some fire in the room ahead, but maybe before we go in there, we should duck out into these side rooms. Okay, he went down real easy. That was a new enemy. I don't think we've seen that before. We haven't seen one of these before either. It's a cup, which for some reason equips itself as our weapon. You wouldn't think a cup would be much of a weapon, but we have it.
Silver goblet. Aquatic detail.
So what will we use a cup for? It's full of water. Maybe we shouldn't waste it. If we went in here, we find, hey, it's the same thing. There are two of them. So maybe we can just skip by this and head into the fire room.
Are you the one who spoke to us before? Are we closer to you now?
Are you here in this chamber?
So we've encountered the voice that we heard in the caverns. He seems to be bound by some rules himself. Let's ask him some questions, starting with who even is this person?
Who are you? What is your name?
Alright, he can't tell us his name, but he's telling us his name. Maybe he can tell us something about our enemies, since there's still a lot we don't know.
Well, who are the ones who stand against us? Are they your jailers? Can we free you?
Where can we find this key?
Go to the tower and walk with the spirits. I urge you to do this. I urge you to do this.
Hello? Hello, Hawke! Damn it, he's gone.
Well, we still don't know who Hawke is, but he appears to be on our side. Maybe. He wants us to find the key and the lock that keep him imprisoned.
An angel. Chained.
There's a great power present here, Adam. Present in the mosaic. It's focused, like an occult seal.
Well, this is the only place that we were able to talk to Hawke, he said. So it does seem like something is special about this place. There are some doors we could look at. This one is of a fish.
Odd design for a door. The central head's an aperture.
Puzzling.
A fish and what looks like water behind it. We could go to the door on the other side of the room, but it's actually the same thing. So 2 doors with a fish. And over here is something different.
There's some sort of lock mechanism built into this.
Yes. But have you ever seen a lock like that before?
Apparently, we haven't seen one of those. And over here, there's a stairway of nothing, going up to a door that leads to nowhere. Apparently, we're not saying anything about it. This is not unusual, I guess. But hey, maybe let's just remember about the door that goes to nowhere back there, even though no one said anything about it. Okay, so what about the two doors with the fish? Well, due to the water design, you probably figured out that we need to splash water on the doors. But which one should we go into? They look identical. Well, we're going to go into the left one, and the only way you know that is through trial and error. In the supplementary video, I'll show what happens if we go in the right one, but the proper path is to go in here. And in here we find something interesting.
You have done well. That is one of my most treasured possessions.
I'll look after it for you. Do we need it for something special?
It is both a dedicated weapon and a key.
Well, maybe we should ask, dedicated to what?
Dedicated to what?
Once, and only once, may its power be used to work against one who would harm you.
Anyone specific? I mean, this whole place is out to harm us.
I cannot name him. Naming his kind would be dangerous. His ears are attuned to the casual and unwary reference. But I can tell you this. He is not the master. The lieutenant no more. Yet he is still to be feared.
How will we know him?
You will know him. He is close.
So apparently this is a get-out-of-jail-free card against someone who apparently is so fearsome that Alf dares not name him. So that's fun. Let's ask him, it's a key to where? Where should this go?
A key to where? You mean a lock or something?
Understand, I do not speak of a mundane lock. The dagger is a device that will enable you to travel to a realm other than your own. Without it, you may not enter.
You mean the tower? We've been there before.
Not the tower. Though you must walk there to reach the realm known as Raquia, a fair but perilous place. It is guarded well. Raquia is ethereal, a region of spirit.
It was one of the realms that Florentine wrote about visiting in his journal.
You said perilous.
I did. Raquia is a neutral place, but nonetheless risky.
The first time we met, we talked about this.
The Shrive. My life was lost defending it. I sensed that you had taken it. Guard it with your life.
Can you tell us anything more?
The laws of the place where the Shrive and my life were taken forbid it. I must go now. The power of the blade is fading.
Alright, so we have a new weapon. It looks like a sword, but
Doesn't appear to be working.
I don't know what he was talking about there, but it is a ranged weapon. So we don't use it as a sword, we use it as a gun. And like the staff, it can charge up for a more powerful shot. Let's have a look at it.
The blade's as sharp as a razor.
Careful with it then.
Alf talked of this dagger as a key, a device to enter the realm of Raquia. I wonder if it's anything more.
A key to what? I don't have an answer to this one.
Alright, so at least we know that we can now enter one of the realms. We can go into Raquia with this blade. Alright, so we got something useful, and we now know what our next destination should be, since we can go into Raquia. Maybe let's start heading there now.
Aye.
Yes. Unfortunately, unlike Alf, I am not remotely interested in gaining your trust. My sole concern is that you cease this tiresome charade. Right now.
Lieutenant. That's what Alf said. That's you, isn't it?
So you can recite what you've been told. Very clever. And your charming lady friend. My dear, why don't you use your undoubted influence and persuade this young man to close his mouth?
Who are you? What do you want?
I am Belial. As to what I want, well, that can wait a little longer. While we have some fun. Humans do still bleed, don't they? Splendid.
Alright, so this is apparently the fellow who is so fearsome that Alf dared not name him. But he has no problem naming himself. This is Belial. And, he seems pretty dangerous. We have some options. We could say, what shrive? We could play dumb. We could just say, let's get out of here. Just ignore Belial. We could say, you want the shrive? And just give it to him. Or we could attack Belial. Well, all of these seem like they could be risky choices, but, you know, the thing Adam Randall does best is playing dumb.
I've got nothing of yours.
You're lying. Give it to me.
Give it to him. It's over.
Well,
Looking for this? Oh, we still have the shrive.
Well, ours can be back for that.
Yeah. Can't wait to see his tan.
So, Adam and Rebecca are able to escape Belial due to having this get-out-of-jail-free card that Alf gave us, but he did say that it would only work against Belial once. So if we encounter him again, I guess that's not going to work so well. And that conversation can go, a lot worse. And that's something that we're going to see in the supplementary video. That's it for this video, however, for right now. We went through 2 chapters of Realms of the Haunting. We found the Journal of Claude Florentine, and now we came into this chamber, and I think there's an enemy coming. Yeah, in the upper right, there's someone coming. I'm just going to pause this, and that'll be for next time, I think. So we found Alf's dagger. We got instructions that we should be heading to Rockwia, and we have a quest to free Hawke, though we don't really know who he is or why we should free him. We met Belial and just kind of shot him in the face. And, hey, we're making progress. Next time, we're going to be heading out to the tower, and then we are going to actually go to another realm, the realm of Rockwia, and see what that's like. See if that's any better than Earth right now. But I would suggest, if you have been not watching the supplementary videos, you probably should be watching this one, because this is going to go into a lot of story. A lot of the backstory is in that journal, and some other journals that we will find. But this is the first one that we found. So, I would say if you want to get a good handle on the story, this is a recommended one to watch, as well as we'll also see what else could go wrong in that Belial confrontation. So aside from that, I'll see you next time.